as...
Yeah, but a man is anybody who identifies as a man.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then you don't have to have gender dysphoria to be trans. Because you could just self-identify as the sex, and you would be that sex.
Well, I don't think that's right then.
Then you have to qualify it because you say anybody who identifies a man is a man, right?
No, I don't think that's true. I think a lot of people say that too, just to...
Then what makes you a man other than maleness?
That's a whole other can of worms to open. Yeah.
It's not another can of worms. If you say man is this set of criteria, okay, whatever X set of criteria is, then I'll accept that. I just want to know what X criteria is.
Okay.
But if you say a man does not require X criteria, just self-ID, well, now we have a different problem.
I see what you're saying here now. I just think it's, yeah, like you said, it's like kind of hard to like get into because like I understand your point is that like I'm trying to articulate this, but like I see someone who identifies as a man, but I think gender dysphoria is a requirement to be trans, and there's kind of like,
well, then how are you a man?
I see that's where I'm kind of like, that's where I like don't really know like how to.
That makes no sense. That literally makes sense. It's a contradiction to say if you identify as a man you are, but you're not trans.
Well, why would you identify as a man if you didn't have gender dysphoria and you have
I don't
female
see why
body
you
parts?
couldn't. Why couldn't you? Why couldn't you identify as being a man even if you had female body parts?
Because why would you?
Yeah, but why you would is irrelevant to the question of why couldn't you?
I mean, I guess you could.
And if you could, are you?
Well, people can't afford to always.
If you
get
could,
surgery.
are you?
No.
No, you're
You have
not.
to
So then what is the criteria for man?
Having a male brain.
The fuck does that mean? Doesn't a male brain go in a male body?
No, I mean like.
Do you have how would you know
Okay.
that somebody had a male brain except the body around it was male?
You don't see that. You know, your consciousness knows. Having a male consciousness. Do you think you have a male consciousness?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so what do you think being a man is?
I think that
having a penis?
I think that being a man essentially has multiple criteria that we can list. We could list chromosomes. We could list all of this, right? But really the simple way is you only have 2 reproductive pathways which the body can go down to.
But didn't you say that...
Hang on. You just asked me
to
define it, and I'm trying to. Okay? There's only 2 phenotypical pathways you can go down. Okay, 2. That's it. Female, male. There's no third sex, no intermediate sex. There never has been. Not even in people who have hermaphrodite, right? Things like that. Absolutely only have one sex pathway. So only one of those reproductive organs can work. People can't impregnate themselves. No matter what their physiology is, it's impossible. So only one reproductive way can actually work.
Okay, I think that we're never going to reach a conclusion here because...
No, I think we can very quickly.
No, because
I just need your definition of man.
Okay, I gave it to you, and you don't agree that there are male and female brains, so we're never going to reach a conclusion. I think that there's a difference.
I think that there's male and female brains. I think that if there's a brain inside of a male body, it's a male's brain.
Okay, and I disagree. I think that there can't...
What? What do you mean you disagree?
No, okay, consciousness, sure. If you want to say consciousness instead of brain, sure, because that's
what the fuck
not
is
physical.
a female consciousness?
When you've identified like that your whole life.
Well, then it's all self-ID. So then, okay, so then so now we got it. Okay, now I've got it.
Because the gender dysphoria is because the gender dysphoria is a part of that self-identification if you have a female brain and a male body.
Okay, but why couldn't you make the claim, then go and get diagnosed? They say, no, you don't have dysphoria.
You could do that if you wanted to, but that doesn't make you trans. Like that gives you a diagnosis.
You just said it's just
okay.
self-ID.
It gives you a diagnosis, but it doesn't make you trans. What I'm saying is being trans is having a male brain or a female brain in the opposite body of your gender, and you disagree with that, and that's fine.
I'm not actually sure how it's possible that you can have a brain inside of your body that doesn't belong with your body, because it's literally in your body.
I mean, I'm sure. Well, that just gets into like the science of like how an embryo grows in like the womb. Like there might be something that goes wrong in there, you know? Like who knows? I don't know.
Okay. So, but we can define, so your definition of a man is anybody who has a male brain.
Yes.
And your definition
male consciousness, sure.
And your definition of anybody who has a male consciousness is anybody who says that they have one.
No, not anybody who says that they do, anybody who feels that they do.
Yeah, okay. So how would you know that they feel that?
I wouldn't know. They would know that.
And how would they tell you that?
I wouldn't know.
How would they tell you that?
This isn't my, like...
How would they tell you
why
that?
does it matter what I know?
How would they tell you that?
They would use their words?
They would use their words. So,
okay, but why does it matter what I think?
Would they use their words to say that they identified as a man?
Okay, but why does it matter what I think?
Well, because it's your definition. That's why it matters.
Yeah, my definition is how they feel. I don't give a shit what
they told you how they felt.
Okay, if they want to lie to me and say something else opposite to what they feel, that's not my, like...
So then we have established that a man's anybody who identifies as a man.
No, it's somebody... Okay.
I do want to dispute one thing you're
saying.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's okay. I think in the past, before it was as socially acceptable as it is now to come out as transgender, you had feminine men and you had masculine women, and oftentimes they would identify as homosexual, or they wouldn't. They would just be, butch or, more feminine man. However, I don't believe though that there's this, distinction between male and female brains. I do agree with Andrew that it is, if you're a female and you have a brain that's a female brain, and you can even, to your point about a man who just identifies as transgender, isn't necessarily going to have a female brain. Maybe he has feminine tendencies, but even with people who identify as transgender.
Theotokos donated $99. This is a quirk of language. The internal I means something than the physical embodiment. Same as the last podcast. Actions divorced from consequences.
I totally agree.
How do you pronounce this? Theotokos? Theotokos. Can you finish your thing and then we'll
yes, of
move
course.
on?
Yeah, I just was going to say that if you look at people who identify as transgender, when they go on, hormone therapy, they often experience the opposite gender's like libido, and that would be neurological, right? So it's not like they didn't have, if a man is going on estrogen, his libido is going to decrease. I mean, that's often how
because
it happens.
of the hormones, though.
Yes, but the hormones is neurological, so his brain in that way was always masculine, because oftentimes they will claim that they had a more intense libido before
That's fair,
going
actually.
on estrogen.
But what about women with extra testosterone and hermaphrodites?
Yeah,
It's an outlier.
So yeah, again, if you're, we're not going to say the H word. Sometimes I really fucking hate YouTube, because it just makes conversation impossible. If you're talking about that particular condition, right? You don't believe that people with that condition can impregnate themselves, right?
No.
Why not?
It's impossible.
Why?
Because they don't have both of the female and male organs.
So they only have one functional reproductive system, and so when it's when it's surgically fixed, which reproductive system do you think they go with? The one that works, right? Because that is the pathway your body develops. Yes, hang on. Yes, always, every time.
Theotokos donated $99. Is it gay for the government to have a gender equivalent draft for women, where women are assigned a husband and mandated to have children?
Wait, is it gay for the government to have a gender? I don't know if it's... Why would it be gay, though?